So we are now joined by wrestling legend Rhyno. How are you?
Very good.
Thank you for joining us.
Good. Good.
This is your last day of your your UK Southwest tour.
Yes.
Have you enjoyed your time in the Southwest? Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I always love coming over to the UK, and it's nice to wrestle in front of the fans. They really appreciate wrestling, and everywhere I go, I'm very fortunate to be in front of crowds that really appreciate wrestling. But there's always something special, when you come over here. So
Yeah.
fans really enjoy it and enjoy you being here. And I think because they know you traveled such a long way, they're really responsive to all the matches, though, even the local town. So they love their wrestling here.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So would you say you enjoy wrestling at intimate events just as much as like big arenas, like WWE, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I think I enjoy whenever I'm able to go out there and perform. The smaller crowds, it's cool because they're right there, and you have an opportunity to meet them. In the bigger venues you can't, because you'd be there for 3 days. So but it's nice to look out and see the sea of people, and and have 20,000 people watching you. That's always nice.
So where did the name Rhyno actually come from? Is there like a story behind the name?
No. Like Edge and D'Lo, and all them guys. It was a show in Detroit, Michigan, at the GI Forum, and the lights were out. And then D'Lo was the one that actually came up to me and told me. But I think it originated from a gentleman named Reckless Youth. Yeah. So, but anyways, he was on the show. Yeah.
So for you, would you say there was someone that kind of inspired you to become a wrestler? Was there someone that you actually looked up to?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
It was in the late 80s, mid to late 80s. It was like Hulkamania was running wild, and the whole, then Ultimate Warrior came in, and you had Macho Man when he turned babyface. And yeah, so that whole, I want to say about 3-year period, it was just like, my mind was just all about wrestling. Yeah.
During your career, would you say you had a standout match or a standout opponent or moment in your career?
I've been blessed to have been wrestling for almost 21 years now. So in March 10th of 1995 is when I had my first match. So March 10th of this year, according to the state laws, my wrestling career will be old enough to drink. Yeah. Over here, I could have been drunk for 2 years, my wrestling career. So what is it, 18 or 19?
18.
18, yeah. Canada's 19. Yeah, we live right in Detroit. It's right across the border. You've got Windsor, and yeah, when you're 19, you definitely go over there for a few beers. So, but getting back to your question, probably one of my better matches that really stand out in my mind is with Booker T in Liverpool. Yeah, it was a live event, and it's just, everything just clicked, and the fans were great through the whole show. But for our match, it was just something special, like all the planets aligned. And the very next day, Booker goes, "Have you ever had the crowd react to you like that?" And I go, "Yeah, every night, Book." He laughed. So.
But I mean, ECW is a global phenomenon. And you're a massive part of that. Did you ever expect it to come as legendary as it has? I mean, it's one of those things now that you get people chanting it, and it's really huge. Did you ever expect that to happen?
Yes and no. You felt you were part of something special, but I think, a lot of, like the Attitude Era, you were part of something special, but it was a different company. And even like in the late 80s, they were part of something special, and I think, like now with NXT, we're seeing something special, and I don't know if they've even scratched the surface with NXT, it's like the hottest ticket out there, So it's, you're part of something special. I knew I was part of something special I didn't know if it would last that long. You know, I didn't think the promotion was gonna go out of business like it did, nor did a lot of fans. And maybe that's, you know, what why it's gained that legendary status that it has, because it just shut down just like that. You know, because I mean, if you can't have something, you want it even more. You know, maybe that's why it's, you know, held on as long as it has.
During your time at ECW or any other like wrestling company, what has been your worst injury that you've had?
I had a cervical fusion, neck surgery in 2001. Yeah, with I was with WWE. It was November 2nd. I had surgery, and that's a cool thing with WWE. If you're injured, they pay for insurance. Whatever happens inside the ring, it's top-notch insurance, and then they'll cover it. You know, they'll send you anywhere you want to go to whatever doctor you feel comfortable with, and you know, and then they pay you your downside, which is, you know, very well to live off of and pay your bills and stuff like that until you're good again. You know, to go back out in the ring and stuff like that and wrestle. And usually they'll bring you back, and even if it was a little joke that we used to say back then, because Vince would never let you go if you ever got injured. He would always make sure he pulled you through the injury, and then we'll stop. We were briefly interrupted, but no, you don't have to stop. You threw me off.
I just had to whistle it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Whistling
here
Dixie.
we go.
I apologise now for the smell that's going to come out in a minute.
Just keep it shut, courtesy.
I'm going to walk the door.
Courtesy, please. But anyways, no, it was a little running gag that if you thought you were going to get fired or released from your contract, or they weren't going to re-sign you, get injured, because Vince would always pay you through your injury, you know, and then when you were clear, he would usually put you on TV to beef up your stock a little bit. So then when you go out on the indies, or you know, you have a better opportunity to the ball's in your court if you want to, you know, continue with the wrestling business, you know.
So how long was you out of action for with your...
Oh geez, I was out for like a year, and usually the average time is 12 months. I was out like, I think 13 months, and then I was cleared January 7th of 2003, and I was chomping at the bit to get back in the ring ever since, you know, like 3 weeks after my surgery. And yeah, my wife was at the time was expecting like a month later, so they didn't want me getting they didn't want to have me start on TV and then, you know, like miss a couple, like with the baby and all that stuff. And so like, oh, just sit at home for a little bit, you know. And then after she had the baby, like 3 weeks later, I was back in the swing of things.
So to keep your job in the wrestling industry, get injured and you're covered financially.
During the period of it takes you to recover, and then they'll put you back on TV for a little bit. Yeah, well, just as far as WWE, I don't know how other promotions work.
I mean, in regards to WWE, it's kind of changed into this new PG era, very different to what it was, say, 10 years ago. What are your thoughts on that? Because when I talk to fans about it, it's very kind of 50-50, some like it, some don't. So do you have an opinion on that? Do you think it's changed wrestling in any way?
Well, you always have to remember, wrestling usually follows society.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I mean, political correctness is all around, you know what I mean? And sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's politically incorrect, you know, to say this or say that. It's like really nothing offensive, but anyways, so the world is becoming PG in certain ways, you know. It's like, you know, like, oh, you can't offend anybody. If you call me chubby or fat or ugly or whatever, I don't care. I know who I am, you know, it's not gonna bother me, you know. But anyways, You know, but I think, you know, as far as that goes, you just respect each other.
Yeah.
That's all. You know, if someone don't respect you, you don't need them in your life. The only advice I have to say is if someone says negative towards you, whose fault is it? The person saying it. If you let it bother you, then it becomes your
Yeah.
fault. You know, and I like to stress that to kids because growing up, you know, and kids and stuff like